So hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the code. We are going to discuss the code forces round. It's not a code forces round. It is goodbye 2025. So let us discuss this contest. So in this we are going to discuss from problem A to D, which I have solved, and I didn't solve the question E, F, and G, and so on. I didn't even tried that also. So yeah, let's discuss this question. So I have also forgotten what was the question. So first of all, let me read and let's discuss the logic. So last Christmas, your friend gifted you a string consisting of Y and N. Yeah, I got that. I remember what was the question. A single Y if at least one of Si and S is Y. What we formally in one operation you can choose an index I and remove two character, then insert a single Y if at least one of this is Y, a single n if both Si and Sn are n. Okay, so we need to find Fernando does not want you to combine yes or yes. So yeah. So in this question, what we are given a string, okay, and we are asked that whether we can combine two consecutive y or not. If we can combine two consecutive y in the string, then the answer will be no, else the answer will be yes. And the constraint is if at least one y is present, if at least si or si plus 1 is y, then we can combine, then n and y means if any one of the both of the string, if any one among both the terms is y, then we can remove both the terms and can insert a y, and if both the term are n, then only we can remove both the term and can insert a n in place of both the terms. So whether we are asked that whether it is possible that we can make a string of length n without combining two consecutive y. So you can see that if any one si or si plus 1 is y, then the resultant of these two terms will also be y, and n is only in that case if both the n are y. So you are getting that if any of the following term has two y count, then it is definitely sure that two y will get added because y is not getting removed. Okay, because y and n also result in y, n and y also result in y and y also result in y. So y can never be vanished from the string. Okay, means y can only be vanished if we are combining two y, and 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 if we are combining two y, then it is obvious that answer is no. So yeah, that's a very straightforward question. Means the thing wants to think even. So just you need to go in each string and check whether the y count is less than 2. If y count is less than 2, then print yes, else no. That's the only question, and a very straightforward code. Like we just iterated over the string and check if the count of y is, if the given term is y, then we increases the counter variable, and if counter is less than 2, then yes, else no. That's what asked in this question. So yeah, let us discuss the question number 2. First question was very basic type of question. Yeah, what the question says? A string W consists of a lower Latin letter in is called suspicious if and only if all of the following condition hold. Okay, means all of the following conditions should hold for a string to be suspicious. Okay, the letter S appeared at least twice times. That's the first case. And for every occurrence of the letter U, the nearest two occurrences of the S are the same number of character away from the U. Yeah, I got the question. Remember what was that? So it was asked that you are given a string. Okay, you are given a string and you are asked to do some operation in it to make it determine the number of operation to make it suspicious. Okay, means you have to satisfy these conditions in minimum number of operations. Okay, so what are the conditions? That the string should have at least two s, and for every occurrences of u, the distance between the two s from the u, the two nearest s from the u should be same. So that is asked in this question. Basically, you are getting that. Let us consider the last u. Okay, there is nothing sort of s in its right side. You are getting. We can only obtain the s in the left side. Suppose we obtain the s here. So the distance from here is 3 units. But at right there is no s present. So it is infinity. So this u has to be s. Similarly, this u also has to be s. It can't be u because the distance in the right side and the left side are never going to be same. Okay, so first and basic criteria is satisfied. Okay, that here it is going to be s and it is also going to be s. Satisfied? Let me check whether it is recording or not. Yeah, that these two are going to be s. Satisfied? After that, we have to check in the u section that how can we convert this u into s such that the minimum number of conversion from u to s is required. Okay, so here we can see that if we convert this to s, if we convert this to s, so suppose s is written here, s is written also here, and there are two u's. How can we convert these two u into s? Suppose we convert this u to s, then this u is present and the distance from this u to this u actually it is s. Suppose I don't have any iPad so that I can show you by writing what I am saying. This is complete u. Okay, we will right now we have just discussed that we will convert this u to s x and this u to x. Okay, after that these two u's are left. So we can, so suppose we converted this u to s. So for this u is s and this u is s. So the distance of u's from this u, sorry, now it is converted to s. So distance of this s from this u is 1 unit. So the condition is fully satisfied that there are at least two s, and for every u present in the string, the distance of 2s must be same. So for this u that is only present in the string, the distance of this u and this u are same. So the minimum number of operation is 3. How it is 3? To convert this u to s, this u to s, and this u to s. So that's what asked in this question. So yeah, let us discuss. Suppose now let us discuss the complete logic. Okay, how we are doing that. First of all, we will convert this u to s and this u to s. Okay, and we will increase the counter based on the u present at the first and the last index. If the u are present at the first index, we will convert that to x, s, and we will increase the counter by 1, and at the last index, if u is present, we will convert it to s, and then we will again increase the counter. And now we will do the same for the rest of the u. Okay, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Suppose for this all 9 u we are doing the thing. Okay, then how can we convert this u into s so that the resultant output should come out to be true, that for every u the distance of the nearest s are same. Right now we did for 2u and the result came out to be 1. Okay, so suppose the u count is even. Okay, suppose this 4u are getting considered. Suppose the question is asked for this 4u only. Then how we will convert to s? We will convert this to s. Suppose this 6u's is getting asked only in this question and this is the string only. Okay, yeah, this is the string of length 6. We will convert this u, and this 4 will remain the this 4. Then we will do one thing, that we will convert this as, okay, then this you will satisfy that this is s and this is s, and for this we will convert this u, this are the, we will convert this to s only, and we will convert, for this we are considering, okay, this, for this you will make it s and s. This is the u. Now this we are considering because the first and the last are getting converted to s. Okay, so for this u, this s is present, we will convert this to s, and for this u, this s is present and we will convert this to s. So for even, we will convert even by two number of element to s, and for odd we will convert, suppose let us consider an odd case. Let us consider string of length 5. Here it is present, string of length 5. Convert this to s, convert this to s. Then for even length we will take, suppose, so we will just convert this to s. So this u case and this u case will automatically get satisfied, that the nearest u, sorry, the distance of the nearest s from this u is same. So you got the logic, that for any given length n, we will convert the first u and the last u to s irrespective of the string. If it is u, we will definitely convert it to s, and then we will do the our answer for the remaining string. If the uh, if the consecutive u count is even, we will convert the even length by 2, and if the consecutive length of u count is odd, we will take odd by 2 and add it into our answer. So that's what we have done in this logic. You can see my code also, that is exactly what same what I've said right now. We have converted the 0th index u to s, and we have increased the counter, and then we have done the last index u to also s, and we have also increased our counter, and then we have done answer is equals to cnt, and based on the consecutive u count we have just did count is equals to count by 2, and at the end we printed our answer. Quite a straightforward question, typical 900 kind of a question. So yeah, let us discuss the third question. What was that? I didn't know. I couldn't able to recall that. Mm, there are, yeah, got it. In this question, I have written the code based on my observation. Okay, means I didn't came to an approach just right away. I just tried to write my code based on the test cases. Okay, so in this question, what it is said, that you have n children And the niceness of the IH children is AI. Okay. And Santa is deciding which children to put onto which list. Suppose if we choose the first children, then we add W to X, and if we choose the last index, then we add minus W to X. Okay, basically we would subtract from X, and we have to calculate the maximum possible value of the children. So let me discuss my approach. So in this question, what I have did now, I have separated I have separated my entire logic into four category. Okay, if the first index of the array is positive, if the last index of the array is positive, if the first index of the array is negative, if the last index, sorry, let me say again. I think I was wrong this time. So if the first index of the array is positive and the last index is also positive, if the first index is positive and the last index is negative, if the first index is negative and the last index is positive, and if the last and if the first index is negative and the last index is negative. So I have categorized my logic into these four category. I know the optimized solution of this code is some that many people have write prefix sum and suffix sum, but here what I am discussing my approach that I have came into the contest, that I have got into the contest. Okay, that it didn't strike into my brain like how to go from prefixum. So I am just telling my logic. So suppose the first element is positive. Okay, so if any negative element comes in front of the positive element, then we would just remove the element and add minus of minus 3, minus of negative number which result into the positive number. Okay, so that's get added. After that, when we after that when in front of a positive number comes out, so we will remove this positive number and make this positive number as its front child. Suppose we try to remove the second positive number, so it will subtract from the x. It would cause negative effect in the x, which we don't want. We want to maximize the value of effect of x. So we would first remove this x and we would make this 4 as a parent. Like we would make it at index 0 and would remove the element 1 from it. So this is my approach when both the elements are positive. Same as when the first element is negative. So here, look what. If the first element is negative and if we remove this element, then definitely it will create a negative effect in my answer. And if in front of a negative number comes out, so we could remove that negative number, it would create a positive impact on my answer. Suppose a bunch of positive number comes out in front of a negative number. So what we could do that definitely this after removal this negative number it would also cause a negative effect, and after removal of these two number it will also cause a negative effect. So which negative effect is smaller, we would remove that number. Here what we can see that minus 4 will definitely cause a negative effect, but these 2 and 3 will nullify that. Like first of all we would remove minus 4, but these 2 and 3 will nullify the effect of the minus 4. So the net removal of minus 4 won't be that negative. Okay, so this was my logic. Basically what I have done now, I have wrote it down my code based on the test cases. Like there were many edge cases that is present in the test cases also that made my code run for this brute idea also. Okay, and at last we also have to make sure that there should at least one element present in the list, and suppose both the elements are positive, first and last element are positive, So definitely at last a positive number will stood in the array. So definitely the last positive element will only stood in the array. So we will just take the complete summation of the array and would remove the last element from the list, from the sum basically. So we could get our answer. Okay. For the negative, for the positive and negative part, for the positive and negative part there could be a contradiction, like because if we remove the last negative element also, it would also create a, I am talking about just a last case. Suppose a positive number is in the first in a zeroth index and the last index is present which is a negative number. If we remove that negative number, it will also cause a positive impact. And if we remove the zeroth index element, it would also cause a positive impact. So whose positive impact would be greater, we would take that element only, okay, and would just make my answer. So this was my approach. Right, it was a very long code which I have written. Okay, so first of all, you can see that if the first element is, if a0 is greater than equal to 0, and the last element is also greater than equal to 0, so we would just remove the last element and print the sum. So we would get our answer. Else else what I have just said, that we will take the last positive element what we have done here, and we would remove the minimum of the negative number and the last positive number, which I have just said what my approach was. And in the negative case now we can't just take a prefix sum. Okay, see what I have done. Hmm, since the first, here what I have done did the take took the absolute value of all, but here we can't do that. Okay, so if so so what I have done, like first of all we took the sum of all the element which are greater than zero. Okay, let me see my logic. I have wrote it, yeah, here. If last element is greater than zero, suppose if last element is greater than zero and first element is negative, so there would be two cases in our answer. Okay, first of all, what are the two cases? I have just discussed that we would remove the first negative number and cause a negative impact in the answer, and we would remove all the remaining positive number and cause a negative impact in the answer. Whose negative impact will be smaller, we would just add them in our answer. So we have just did that in our this code. Similarly, in this code also, you just listen to my solution, what I have said, and I have exactly done what I have said right now. So yeah, this was the problem. This I don't recommend to see my this solution because it is a complete brute idea which I have applied. There are much better solution available. So yeah, this was the question and was also a good question, I would say. First of all, let's not discuss all of this. Let's directly jump onto the question. I have read that question, means I can recall this question very well. So in this question it is said that now क्या था यार भूल गए Hmm. Yeah, there are certain number of elif available in the market. Okay, there are certain number of elif available, and we could remove the elif. Basically, an elif can attack to the other elif. Okay, and just listen how the destruction works. Okay, initially the value is given as hi is equals to ai. Okay, So the destruction to other LF will be done based on the HI value, not on the AI value. HI value is the original value that is given to us, and AI value is the reduced value after the attack. Okay, so these are the difference between the HI value and the AI value. When an LF attack onto the other LF, the reduction on the other LF health is done from the HI value. Okay, means if this elif attacks on this elif, then this elif hi value will subtracted from this elif ai value, and this elif hi value will subtract from this elif ai value. So yeah, so after that we have to just make sure that at least two elif, at what whatsoever the number here present, that same number of elif should be alive at the end of the process. So you can just see that if suppose 2 elif is the first of all what we can do, we can just sort our elements, okay, with indices, because indices here matter. At the end we are printing the indices of the elifs, so make a pair vector of the elif health and the indices. Suppose k is greater than 0, suppose we want more elif to be alive. Okay, so if more elif can be alive, then the higher value elif can attack to the lower value elif and could destroy them. And also remember that only one time attack is possible. Okay, so higher value elif can attack to the lower value elif and could destroy them, and this attack can only be done by only one time. And also make sure that every alive elif must have attack at the end of the answer. Suppose that, first of all, which cases are possible? Look, every elif must attack every other elif. Suppose n elifs are present. If all n elif will attack each other, so lower value elif will automatically get destroyed. So at the end, less than n by 2 elif are livable. Okay, means as per the constraints, only n by 2 elif, less than n by 2 elif can be alive at the end of the answer. You can easily prove that. It's just basic, like if n elifs are present and if every other elif attacks on every other elif, sorry, if every other elif attacks at least one time only, then due to his own constraint he would get destroyed. Getting, so the answer would always be greater than or equal to n by 2. That's a very basic means observation. You can just find out that just by observation. The twist in this question just comes at the only part that the k value is greater than 0 and the k value is equal to 0. Suppose 2 elif 2 elif can be alive at the end of the answer. Suppose the most largest elif alive, suppose 2 are alive at the end. So we just know that these two would be alive at the end. So these alif will attack here and this will attack here, and and all the constraints are satisfied that the alive alif must have attacked, and that's it. Okay. So the just see my logic here. I don't want to explain the whole how I got into the logic. Just see my logic that we just made this for k greater than n by 2, C out minus 1, and we just made a pair vector. Okay, and for k greater than n by 2, it is just simple that what we do, What we did what? अरे भाई क्या हो रहा है? What we did was, suppose this is the question. So consecutive LF will attack each other, and as soon as the value of n minus I reaches this value, that this LF has to be alive. So we would just add it in our answer and we will attack from that LF to that LF. Okay, so this is how you can get your answer. खुल जा भाई. Yeah. So suppose the value of this is greater than 0. So till I plus k is greater than equals to n. Sorry, when I plus k is greater than equals to n, means we have just reached what I have said. Till then we would just push the consecutive element, and as soon as we reach there we would just print our. Sorry, what I am saying that getting भाई क्या कर रहे हैं, easy है. We would just do this. Okay, that I plus k, look here. Here what I am saying, suppose what I am saying, that suppose odd elements are present. Okay, so we would just print the el I dot second and el 0 dot second, that suppose 5 is present and we want two elements to be present. Okay, since 5 by 2 is not equal to 5 by 2 in C++ is equals to 0, but in real life it is equals to 2.5. So we have to manage one case to make 4 by 2 is equals to 2. Okay, so we just did was that elif, yeah, elif 1 attacked on elif 0. So the elif 0 gets destroyed, and hence the remaining case gets satisfied. And suppose the sum is equals to and suppose the value of k is equals to 0. So what we did was we took the sum of all the elif, and if this is greater than last elif, then we would just print -1, else we would print n minus 1, and till the value of the last elif is greater than any elif, we would subtract it from ai, that what I have just discussed, and at the last we would just print our answer, basically here and here. Till now, the ith elif will attack onto the last elif to reduce their health. Okay, and since and when the last elif value get reduced to this, we would just print the last value, means ai dot ai dot ai el of I plus 1 dot second and el of I dot second, means we would just print the consecutive elif, that the higher elif attack onto the lower elif. Since their health is getting reduced by the hi, the original value, so both of them will get negative, and hence the answer would be, and hence their health would be less than 0. So all of them will get destroyed. This was the whole A to E, A to D explanation. I hope you get it. Yeah, thank you.